Hi, I'm Jack Draper. Shout out to QualityShot Tennis.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have it here. WTA draw preview and prediction video for Roland Garros 2023. I'm really pumped for this. If you haven't checked out ATP one, go and check it out. It's already out. But the WTA side is actually the one that I'm potentially more excited for. The ATP arguably is more open, but for the WTA side, you just get these incredible matchups in the first few, not even first few rounds, but first round even. And we're going to go through. I haven't had a real detailed look at the draw. I know there's projected quarterfinals, of course, as well, which we'll touch upon in a second. And then we'll go into the actual draw, and I will give you my winners for each and every match. And then on top of that, we will finish up by giving you guys my champion anyway. So the person who I think is going to come out on top after going through it. Before we do get into it, though, remember to that like button. Do subscribe if you are new, and do leave a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. First of all, apologies as well for the sun's going everywhere. So but you don't care about my face anyway, do you? So let's be honest. Let's get into the tennis. That's what you're really here to hopefully listen to, is me talk about Roland Garros and who's going to come out on top. So projected quarterfinals. Let's get into that first. The big news coming out is that Rybakina and Swiatek are in the same half, which is a big thing to happen. And the reason why I say that is Rybakina is either going to fall in Sabalenka or Swiatek's half, because they're 1 and 2, of course. And she's fallen in Swiatek's, and she has shown that she does have the ability to beat Swiatek on hard court. Now, on clay, there was 1 set all, 2 all in Rome. You could argue that Swiatek had, a bit better of a time until she had to retire in that match. But, it could have gone either way. It really could have. And you just wonder what it will be like when she does end up playing her potentially at Roland Garros, and how it might end up resulting in an upset potentially, with Swiatek losing, or Rybakina losing and Swiatek going on potentially dominating and winning her 3rd Roland Garros title. And she's a champion, defending champion, of course, as well. In other news, Paula Badosa has just pulled out as well due to injury, which is a big miss. She has been in some pretty good form, so that's a real shame. Raducanu's not playing, as we know already, because she had surgery, so she's going to miss this tournament as well. But you know what? There's still some great players in this draw. So very quickly, projected quarterfinals, let's get into it. Swiatek versus Goff in the top half, and Rybakina versus Ons Jabeur. So Rybakina Jabeur would be a fantastic, by the way, I think that would be an absolutely fantastic quarterfinal. Replay of the 2022 Wimbledon final, and that was a really good match, 3-setter. Rybakina came out on top, of course. Jabeur, though, arguably more comfortable even on the clay, and Rybakina maybe not so. And Jabeur hasn't been as good a form, mainly because she's been injured a lot of the time. She played Stuttgart in the semi-finals, had to retire against Swiatek. She then lost in the first round to Badosa, or second round to Badosa in her first match in Rome. No real shame in that. Badosa's been playing some good tennis. So this would be a really interesting one if it was to come about. And I think it would be very competitive. Sakkari and Pegula is the other one in the bottom half. And that's very good as well. That always comes out as being an absolute thriller, entertaining. 2 players who can hit pretty big from the back of the court, very athletic, and it ends up being a very tight affair. And then Caroline Garcia versus Sabalenka. Now, I can't really see Garcia making it that far, if I'm being honest, mainly due to her pretty poor form as of late. And look, she herself has admitted that she's not been the best of form, and hopefully we see her back to her best. I think we will do so on the grass or the hard courts, and hopefully we see the player that was causing a lot of trouble last year, very aggressive, entertaining brand of tennis. Sabalenka, could she be upset before then? Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it in a second. But I have to say, Sabalenka losing early in Rome, that could have been a blessing in disguise. She's had a lot of time to practice at Roland Garros and acclimatize herself, and I think she's fancying it. So let's see. Okay, let's get into this then. So Swiatek has Buxa in the first round. Swiatek for me. Liu has a qualifier, as does Peterson. Wang and Buzkova. Buzkova should come through that for me. This is an incredible first round matchup. Azarenka versus Andreescu. Now, I think you should. I was going to say you could argue. I don't think there's any argument involved, really. Two very good hardcourt players battling it out on a very slow clay court. Azarenka doesn't like the clay. She, as I've said in the past, she tends to play really well, and then at the end of the Australian Open, I almost see her missing as soon as we enter the clay court swing, and even Wimbledon, I see her missing sometimes, and then she comes back and she's back on the hard courts, back at the US Open looking good again. Andreescu, you'd imagine her game should be quite suited to the clay. She's got a lot of variation. She can use angles. Hasn't quite worked out for her so far, the clay court swing. I'm actually going to go for Andreescu. Now, I said it with a pinch of salt, but I just think Azarenka really does hate the clay. I just don't see her enjoying her time when playing on the red dirt. Kalinskaya and Navarro will go Kalinskaya. She's been in some good form. Zhu and Lauren Davis. Lauren Davis, I'll go Lauren Davis. I think that will be an interesting one. And then we've got Krejcikova versus Serenko. That's a good one, isn't it? Krejcikova, Serenko. Krejcikova should come through it. 2021 champion. Kudermetova versus Schmidlova. Kudermetova's been in good form as well. Pick her. Kucheva has a qualifier as Mladenovic. Kanepi Keys. Has been in some decent form on the clay, so we'll go for Madison Keys. And then Kalinina. Parry will go Kalinina. Risk Amritage to get through, and Grava as well. Goff to beat Masarova. Rybakina has a qualifier. Kovanic to beat Noskova. And Cerebros Tomo to beat Burrell. Rogers Martic. I'm going to go Martic to cause the upset, given that Rogers is seeded at 32. Alexandrova to beat Tomova. Friedsam to get through. Marino to beat Schneider. Haddad Meyer to beat Maria, although that could be a tough match. That is a banana or potential banana skin. Kvitova versus Coturetto. We'll go Kvitova. Pera to beat Kontaveit. I have zero confidence in Kontaveit right now. I really do. Really do. Vekic has a qualifier. Castella Paolini. Castella. She's looked good. She's looked good so far in the last few months. I've been impressed with her form on all courts, in all conditions, on all courts. Brandon to get through, and then Dodin versus Jancievich. Go Dodin. Jabeur to beat Bronzetti. Sakari has Mukova. This is this is not a good first round. Mukova is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. This is a bad first round for Sakari. A very bad first round. I'm going to go Sakari. She is prone to being upset, though, so keep an eye on that. Podoroska, Ponche will go Podoroska. Irani, Teichmann for me. Begu to beat Bondar. Lynette. Oh, what a match this is. Wow. Magdalene Lynette versus Leylah Fernandez. Fernandez has got her work cut out for her here. She really does. Lynette's been quite solid in the last 6 months. Or 6 to 9 months even. I would say Fernandez is the better clay court player, but she's not been in great form. She hasn't. Fernandez. Sasnovich to get through, and Jean to beat Burrell. Bencic is in the draw. Interesting. She's not playing much tennis. Interesting to see how she gets on. Samsonova to beat Volyanets. Pavlyuchenkova and Frivitova. I think Frivitova will beat Pavlyuchenkova. She's just still on the mend from a long-term injury. I just don't see her making a splash. Even though she made the final here 2 years ago, I don't think she's going to do much in this tournament. Sharif to beat Brengel. Potapova to get through, same with Mertens. Bogdan McNally. Elise Cornet to beat Georgie. Oh, Elise Cornet, Camilla. This is a ridiculously good first round. Wow. I'm going to go... I don't know. Cornet, because she's at home. That's the only reason, in all honesty. Georgie is... That is a 50-50. Wow, this is a terrible draw for Pegula as well. Pegula has Danielle Collins in the first round. Powerhouse Danielle Collins. I'll go Pegula. She could easily lose. Danielle Collins hasn't been in the best form this year, but on her day, she can beat anyone. Caroline Garcia, Wang will go Caroline Garcia to at least make it through the first round. Blinkova, Bonaventure will go Blinkova. Paredes Diaz to get through. Trevisan to beat Svitolina. Svitolina's been on the comeback, of course, after having a child. She will get there. She's actually looked okay-ish. Given that she hasn't played in a while, I think she's looked good. But I just think Trevisan should be able to maneuver her way to victory there, in my opinion. Ostapenko, Martinkova will go Ostapenko. She's been in good form. Stearns, Siniakova Stearns. Vondrasova Parks. Wow, that's a great first round. So these are some really good matches. That's what I'm telling you. On the WTA side, it's just so many. There's not that many clear-cut matches. There really aren't. Alicia Parks to beat Vondrasova, I'll go with. Kasatkina to beat Niemia. Stevens, Pliskova. Stevens could easily beat Pliskova. Easily. I'm going to go for it. I'm going Sloane Stevens to beat Pliskova. Gracheva, Galfield, Gracheva. Potentseva to beat Zanevska. Zheng Xinwen to get through. And Zhang to beat Freck. Rakhimova to get through. Same with Udvardy. And, that's not an easy one either. Sabalenka, Kostyuk. That is not an easy draw. Sabalenka for me, but Kostyuk has a lot of ability. She's still very young. She could easily win. Easily. Okay, next round. Swiatek to beat Liu. Peterson, Buskova. Andrescu, Kalinskaya. Kalinskaya, she's been in good form. Krejcikova to beat Lauren Davis. Kudermetova to beat Kukova. Keys to beat Mladenovic. Kalinina to beat Risk Amritaj. Kalinina made the final of Rome, of course. Goff to beat Graber. Rybakina to beat Kovanic. Srivas Tormo to beat Martic. Alexandrova to beat Friedsam. Haddad-Meir to beat Marino. Kvitova to beat the qualifier. Vekic to beat Pera. Castella to beat Bandil. Jabeur to beat Dodin. Sakari to beat Podoroska. Teichmann, Begu. Teichmann. Fernandez, Sasnovich. Tough one. Fernandez. Benčić to beat Jean. Samsonova to beat Fravitova. Yep, on clay. Sharif to beat Potapova. Mertens to beat McNally. Oh my god, this is a terrible second round for Pegula. Pegula's got a horrific draw. Collins first round, Cornet second round. What? And with the French crowd as well behind Cornet. I'm going to go Cornet. This is a massive upset. I'm going to go Cornet. And Pegula's almost always nailed on for at least like a quarterfinal or round of 16 in every slam. This could be the one where she's coming into it in not great form and her draw is terrible. I think it could be the perfect storm. Caroline Garcia, Blinkova, Caroline Garcia. Paredes Diaz to beat Trevisan for me, actually. Ostapenko to beat Stearns. Parks, Kasatkina. Kasatkina could struggle against Parks, you know. Go Kasatkina, though. Stevens to beat Gracheva. Zheng Xinwen to beat Potentseva. That's a tough one, though, by the way, as well. Rakhimova to beat Zhang. Yeah. Sabalenka to beat Udvardy. Round of 32 or third round. Swiatek to beat Puskova. She gets a seed in the third round. Wow. Krejcikova, Kalinskaya. That's a big banana skin for Krejcikova. We'll go Krejcikova. Kudermetova, Keys. Kudermetova given current form. Kalinina, Goff. We'll go Kalinina. She's been in much better form than Goff. Goff, I'm not sold on her. If she was to beat Kalinina, I think she might take a lot of confidence from that and then potentially kick on. But I'm picking her to lose in this matchup. Rybakina to beat Srivas Tormo, although I tell you what, Srivas Tormo is the type of player that could really frustrate Rybakina. She is a slow moonballer, and it could be very difficult for Rybakina. It really could. Right, Haddad-Meir to beat Alexandrova. I think, yeah. Vekic to beat Kvitova. Not sold on Kvitova on clay whatsoever. Castella Jabeur. This is a tough one for Ons Jabeur. We'll go Ons Jabeur. That's assuming she's fully fit. We'll go Sakari to beat Teichmann. Bencic Fernandez. Fernandez has been kind of very hot and cold. Bencic has been injured. This is, I mean, it's much the muchness. But Bencic destroyed Fernandez in Charleston, so I'll go Bencic. Different different conditions, but still. Samsonova, Sharif will go Samsonova. Cornet to beat Mertens. Oh, Caroline Garcia, Parizas Diaz. I'll go Caroline Garcia, but with little confidence. Ostapenko to beat Kasatkina, in my opinion. Steven Zheng Xinwen will go Zheng Xinwen to beat the former Roland Garros finalist. Sabalenka to beat Rakhimova. Right, round of 16. Oh, this is tasty. Swiatek's got a hard draw. Swiatek Krejcikova. She's got Buskova third round, then Krejcikova in the round of 16. What? That's a shocker. Oh, I don't know if she. I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to answer that last. Kudermetova Kalinina. That's a tough one as well. Oh my gosh, let's go to the bottom. These are ridiculous matchups. Oh my god, who the heck do I pick in these? Sabalenka Zheng Xinwen. I mean, she could lose to Zheng Xinwen. Genuinely, she could. But I think the way that Zheng Xinwen plays might play into Sabalenka's hands. So I'll go Sabalenka. She tries to play with a lot of power as well, Zheng Xinwen, and I just feel like that's maybe not the right style to beat Sabalenka. I don't think you can out-hit her from the back of the court. You need someone who's very patient, has good shot tolerance. I'm not sure whether she does have that or have enough shot tolerance to beat her. Ostapenko to beat Caroline Garcia for me. As I said, I think Ostapenko is much more comfortable on the clay than Garcia, being in much better form. And I just think she will smell that she has a massive chance to beat her. Cornet to beat Samsonova. Bencic Sakari. Now, if Sakari gets to this stage, I think she wins because Bencic is. She's not going to be 100%, I don't think, given the layoff. Jabeur Vekic, Jabeur, Haladmir, Rybakina, or the Haladmir beat her. There was a retirement in, I think it was Stuttgart, but she'd already taken the first set. Haladmir could easily beat her again, and lefty as well. We'll go Rybakina. Kalinina Kudermetova. Oh, that's a tough one. Kalinina beat her in Rome, didn't she? She did semi-finals, 3 sets. Does she repeat it, or does Kudermetova get revenge? She repeats it. Does she? She does. She does. Swiatek or Krejcikova? This is really like... Swiatek is the big favourite. Krejcikova, though, has beaten Swiatek the last couple of times they played. It wasn't on clay, it was on hard courts. You could argue that both players are potentially better on clay, but I think Swiatek is a lot better on clay than other surfaces, in my opinion. Swiatek should win. We'll go Swiatek. I could see her losing. I really could. If Krejcikova makes it that far, she then has a lot of confidence going into that. I could see her causing an upset. She's got the ability to do so. Okay. Swiatek, Kalinina, Swiatek. Rybakina, Jabeur. That's the one we were talking about. That's the one we wanted, wasn't it? Look at that. Projected quarterfinals. None of them are the ones that would have happened if everyone got through, all the relevant seeds got through. Instead, it's just Rybakina and Jabeur is the only one that actually has stuck to the projected quarterfinals that I've gone with. So Swiatek to beat Kalinina. Rybakina and Jabeur, let me come back to that. Sakari, corner, we'll go Sakari. Ostapenko could beat Sabalenka. She could definitely beat Sabalenka. We'll go Sabalenka. Jabeur, Rybakina, I don't even know if Rybakina makes it this far, but if she does, can Jabeur beat her? I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Given, if this was Jabeur from last year, I would say yes, because I would have a lot of confidence in her ability But given that I have zero idea how well she's actually been playing, I don't know. Let's go with Rybakina. Let's go with Rybakina. So then the semi-finals, which to me these are two good semi-finals: Swiatek Rybakina, Sakkari Sabalenka. I feel like I keep on picking the same people. Sabalenka to beat Sakkari. I don't think Sakkari would beat Sabalenka even on a slow clay court. I think Sabalenka still got too much firepower for her, playing too well. She makes it to the semi-finals, then form-wise as well, she's probably playing too well. Rybakina Swiatek. Swiatek is the favorite. She is. It has 3 sets written all over it. And the question is, can Rybakina adjust to what happened in Rome and potentially win? We don't know what would have happened, of course, if Swiatek didn't have to retire. I'm going to go Swiatek. I think Swiatek would win it. So I've gone for a very boring, haven't I? Seed 1 versus Seed 2. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, in all honesty. Sabalenka could lose in the first match to Kostyuk. Honestly, it's so tough to pick the women's. Apart from Swiatek, but then even then, she's got Buskova, Krejcikova, Rybakina. I mean, if she gets through that, then she definitely deserves to win it. It's a real champion's run, isn't it? On a slow clay court, Swiatek. I know Sabalenka beat her in Madrid, but Madrid is high altitude, a lot quicker, so much more suited to big servers. Roland Garros is very slow like Rome. I just think Swiatek would win it. Let me know your thoughts on who you think is going to win as well, and your picker matches, because there's some incredible first round matches and incredible projected matches as well in the second, third, fourth, and quarterfinal stages, on top of the semi-finals and of course the final. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. We'll see you on the next video.